Hello and welcome back to Captain of Industry. In our last episode, we got started on a new island here, and you may notice if you're really eagle-eyed that there are some slight changes. And I will go over those changes here in a little bit more detail. But first, I'd like to thank Mafai Games for providing me with the key for to play this for you today. So the couple of changes are the fact that I was playing on a slightly older version. I don't think it was enough to have re-recorded and restarted the series back at episode 1. But I wanted to just go over the couple of changes because I had to actually start the game over again. It was actually a save-breaking update as well. So I'm playing this on release day, so the game is out now, and there are folks who have watched my first episode, and thank you again for letting me know that I was not actually on the initial episode, or the correct version on that initial episode. That was Skyline Libertarian. Thank you for that. So, first of all, there is now a tree harvester, which looks like, a tree harvester, I guess. It does the actual harvesting of the trees, and then you assign the trucks to it now, instead of assigning the trucks to the task of tree harvesting. It harvests the trees, drops the log in the truck, and the truck drives it over to wherever you want to use it at. The next change is the community here has 2 buildings to support it now. The first is the food market, and the second is the waste collection, which is one of the new features. And let me see if I can remember how to get into that screen. This one, message center, waste and dumping. So we learn a little bit of this, the dumping part of this anyway, during the mining tutorial, which we'll get to hopefully today. But for waste and dumping, your population generates waste that needs to be collected to maintain healthy conditions in your settlement. You can attach a waste collection to your settlement to collect its waste. To get rid of the waste, you can designate a dumping area with the Z key and let your trucks dump the waste onto the terrain. Later on, you can research more ways how to deal with waste. Note that the amount of general waste your population produces depends on the amount of supply they get and whether they recycle. However, you can never get rid of general waste entirely. Dumping. Some materials can be dumped directly onto the terrain, as you have just discovered. However, sometimes you might want to prevent your trucks from dumping waste all over the island, and for that you have a global dumping filter. This filter allows you to select which materials are allowed for dumping and which are not. For instance, iron ore is not allowed for dumping by default because it is a valuable resource and would be a waste of effort. Later on, you can build Mine Control Tower, which has its own dumping filter for the area it manages. This allows, for instance, to disable waste dumping globally and build a dedicated mine control tower and enable waste dumping just on the controlled area to have a single dedicated place for landfill. You can do this with other products such as slag or dirt as well. Not every single product can be dumped on the terrain. If you need to know whether some product can be dumped or not, check out the recipe book in the F1 key. Slag. Dumping slag is important as typically your smelting industry will produce way more slag than you can use in concrete production. So slag dumping is enabled by default and has no pollution effect. But for better efficiency, it is recommended to run slag from furnaces into storage via conveyor belt and dump it from there. This is advantageous since when trucks are dumping from furnaces directly, they may not have their capacity fully utilized. And I think that this tutorial for iron smelting is the same. Wood harvesting is a little bit different now because of having the wood harvester, but it's generally the same. The research lab task here is the same, I think. Logistics is, I believe, also the same. I don't think anything changed here specifically. But we also have this new tutorial called Tools. Let's scroll back up here. There are several tools that can make you more productive. Copy. You can simply select one structure. That's over here by these tools out here in the bottom left. You can simply select one structure to copy it and place it somewhere else. You can also drag a whole area to quickly duplicate parts of your factory. This tool can be activated by pressing the C key. You can also press C while hovering your cursor over a structure to start the copy process immediately. Pro tip, holding the Shift key while copying structures will also copy their configuration. Cut. This tool is similar to the copy tool, but it removes cuts to the selected structures as well. It only works for ghost structures that are not constructed yet. It can be activated by pressing the X key. You can also press X while hovering your cursor over a structure to cut it immediately, which can be handy when making quick adjustments. The Pause tool enables pausing and unpausing individual entities, such as structures or vehicles, and supports mass pausing and unpausing by dragging over an area. When you drag over an area with non-constructed structures, it will toggle the construction pause. Otherwise, it will toggle the regular pause. If any entity in the selection is paused, it unpauses everything selected. Otherwise, it pauses everything selected. This tool can be activated by pressing the P key. Pro tip, holding a shift key while dragging will only enforce pausing. Planning mode. Planning mode, this actually was a question I think I had in the first episode. Planning mode is very simple. When enabled, it will automatically place the construction of every structure you place. Pause the construction of every structure you place. This prevents trucks from constructing your projects without having to pause the game. However, leaving the planning mode won't unpause the construction, as this might not be intended. To unpause what you have planned, you can use the pause tool by dragging your cursor over the area of paused structures to allow them to be constructed. So this is kind of like blueprinting in Factorio. Copy settings. This tool allows you to copy the configuration from one machine, storage, or building to another. You can even drag over multiple structures to mass apply the selected configuration. This tool can be activated by using the V key. And the Unity tool, you can quickly deliver quick remove to finish construction projects more quickly. However, this can be tedious when done one by one, especially if you have a more complex factory with many small structures like pipes. This tool enables you to drag over an area to quickly deliver or quick removal for all the structures needed. If there are no structures to be deconstructed in your selection, this tool will act as a boost toggle. This can be activated by pressing the U key. And then I think this one is the same too for the assembly, except there's a small difference. And then we're going to get to the farm in a minute. The assembly now has 3 recipes to start out with. The construction parts, mechanical parts, and electronics. I don't know what we need the mechanical parts for just now, so I'm not making those, but I did start up the construction projects as we had before. So here's the dumping area, by the way, that I selected for this waste collection. If I hit Z, you can see it here marked. I don't know if that's enough or not. It probably isn't, so we're probably going to have to do a bit more eventually, but for right now, that's where their waste is being dumped, and it's just called waste. It's not anything else. It's not like it's also, the slag is also waste, or the whatever is also waste. It's waste. Waste is waste. And so the farm, the final change here is, found a couple of changes. First of all, the farm is over here instead of over here. That's because that's where the water is. The water, groundwater patch here is moved over a bit, and I think this one's moved as well. And there may be some other changes to some of the other patches, although the ones, there's another groundwater up there, although the ones that we were using, we're intending to use early is the iron, maybe the copper, definitely the coal. Those are the ones we're going to get to as soon as we get vehicles and mining going in this episode. And a little peek behind the scenes too, by the way. Episode 2 has already been recorded once. I'm re-recording that one because it hasn't released yet. So some of this stuff is stuff that I know already from having recorded that and needing to get back in there, i.e. some of the vehicles and mining stuff. And others is because, well, I knew it from my test game. So we have this going now. The other thing with the farm is there's no setting up the rotation anymore. Which is interesting. I guess it just takes care of itself. I'm not sure now, but it does have this fertility equilibrium here. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure. But let's just continue the game and see what happens. So unpause. We're going to let them keep making some iron out of this. Oh, this is another change, actually. There's more stuff here, more iron scrap, more concrete slabs, and there's electronics here to harvest. So we actually don't want to make electronics anytime soon. We'd rather harvest them here. Okay, I think that's it as far as what was changed from the first episode to this newer version of the game. We're a year in now, just over a year in, and hopefully our potatoes are going to get grown here pretty soon. You can harvest early to get a bunch, depending on how long you've gone, which is interesting too. So we're waiting on vehicles and mining. That's the short story long here. Hopefully we're also making some of these things. We need wood, right? We're waiting on wood. And wood is getting prioritized to the coal makers right now, which is why we need to get vehicles and mining done so that we can get mining some of this coal. Although I think that's changed too. I think that was more angled like this before, and so it's moved over here a bit further. And it's interesting how this is picking which trees to harvest. I marked a huge area this time because we were, well, in episode 2, version 1, we ended up having to consume most of these trees. So I just marked them all now, but now the tree harvester's down here doing these ones before it does the ones that are the closest to where the trees actually need to go, which is interesting. So we're kind of reaching a bit of a lull point in the action of the game, which I hope as the early access period progresses, they'll be able to tighten this up a little bit. But I'm kind of hoping that we'll be able to like not have to wait so long for this. I mean, yes, I could set up another research lab, I guess. I suppose. Yeah, we could do another research lab. So let's do C, and then put this next one down right next to it. And I think that'll be okay. And the trucks are all coming in with some stuff. They need 30, so 2 trucks got dispatched, I think because they only can carry 10 each. I'm assuming. Or 20 each, I mean. And then this should just hopefully jump in with, yeah, this jumps in. It does 3.2 research points every minute. I don't know how many research points these are. Does it say how much these are? I don't see that it says. Well, I'm assuming now I'm researching twice as fast. And that would be ideal. Oh, look, the crops are growing. A little bit more. And they just harvested. Yep, outputting potatoes. Okay, and they're gone. Hopefully... yeah, this natural replenish... Fertility consumption is increased due to lack of rotation. Okay, so how do I rotate, though? Maybe that's a... don't know. Okay, vehicles and mining is done. Let's go ahead and set up another research, and then we'll read that tutorial. Let's do trading dock next. I think that's the one that it wanted us to do right away. Mining and dumping allows you to shape the terrain on the island in any way you want. You can remove material by mining it with your excavators and add material by dumping it with trucks. Dumping can be performed anywhere on the island, however mining requires its designations placed inside of an area that is managed by a mine control tower. Excavators and trucks need to be assigned to the mine control tower. Trucks transport mine material wherever they are needed. Materials that are not useful, such as dirt, are dumped on the terrain as long as there are some dumping designations available. To designate terrain for mining, select the Mine Designation tool in the bottom menu. You can choose from flat or ramp designations. Mine designations have to start at or above the terrain, otherwise they won't be reachable by your excavators. If an edge of designation is not reachable, a red line is displayed. If there are red lines all around a designated area, that means it cannot be mined. The numbers on the designations are their height relative to the ocean. Below is an example of a valid designation that goes from the surface down to a depth of -2, and an invalid designation at the bottom that is at depth -2 but does not reach at or above the terrain. Therefore, cannot be mined as is, bottom part of the image. So this is a valid mine, this is an invalid mine. Mine operational area. You can only mine in the operational area of a mine control tower. You can always edit this operational area by clicking on the tower and selecting Edit Area, as shown on the video below. So we can edit those areas if we want to. Each designation square can be mined by only one excavator at a time. Be sure that there are enough available designations to mine if you have multiple excavators. Designation snapping. When you are designated next to an already existing designation, the current designation will snap to the height of the existing one. This helps to create connected areas and can be used to build ramps as easily as shown on the video below. That's cool. You can see available resources by toggling a resource layer overlay, which we've done before on the bottom left corner of the screen. This is an old image from the version we were playing on the last time. Dumping designations are very similar to the mining ones. The main difference is that you need to designate dumping designations that go above the terrain. Unlike mining, they do not need a mine control tower. It is important to know that dumping designations should start at or below the terrain, otherwise they cannot be accessed by trucks. You can use dumping to get rid of unwanted products during mining operations, such as dirt. Some machines also produce side products such as slag from furnaces that can be dumped on the terrain as well. Alright, so let's get started with mining. I'm going to keep the game paused just for a little bit. Coal is the first thing we want to mine, so we're not stripping these trees just to strip the trees. At least that's what I think I should do. So let's do... Nope, that's not what I want first. I want to go... let's see. Buildings for vehicles. We want to do a vehicle depot. I want to do it over here next to the research labs, I think. Let's do it like this. And then this is kind of a fun little building. It works kind of similar, if you've ever played Command & Conquer. It works similar to the vehicle depot in Command & Conquer, where you can select a building or select vehicles you want to build. The tree harvesters are makeable here, as well as pickups. We just need one excavator, though. And then they'll come out when they're ready. I'm going to unpause and let them start building that so that can get done while we lay out this mine. Those little lines there are new. I think that's due to the height. Yeah, that's the height map, which is kind of nice. It kind of gives you a topographical map of the island. When you're here in build mode, you can turn these on and off to the grid lines. Where did I see that? In the layers, I think? Yeah, you can turn the terrain grid on and off here. The mining and dumping designations here and the tree harvesting designations here can all be turned on and off, as well as all these individual layers too. Like coal here, I can turn that layer off if I wanted to. Just so in case you wanted to turn any of the layers off for any reason. Let's go ahead and put this in here. This by default has a fairly large, default area, which is good. And we want to do some designations. So we need a mining designation, which is M. And I want to do a flat, so I'm assuming that's what I want to do there, mine, so we can just kind of strip mine straight across like this. And then you can use E and Q to raise and lower the level of the designation, and then R to rotate, and then you can right-click to delete here. So I'm going to do like this, and I want to keep it flat, so they just kind of skin the coal off the top for right now. And then once we have a bit of that done, we'll see kind of how deep we actually want to go with it. Now, we could end up with some dirt here, and I think what I want to do is change this designation here, if I can figure out how to do it. That must mean that one's full. How do you change the designation? I thought there was a way to tag it. Oh, I know what you need to do. So in... Where was it at? I saw it. In layers? No. Where did I see that? Cut, copy, demolish, copy, Unity, layers. The global... Oh, it's here. The global waste dump. That was in that tutorial that we read. So let's say we don't want to dump dirt globally. We only want dirt and rock to get dumped in specified spots, say inside of this mine control tower's range here. So we turn these two on here, and we can actually turn waste off here just so that waste gets dumped elsewhere. And then let's also do a dumping designation over here. Maybe, let's see, let's do, yeah, we want it sloped up. Let's rotate it, and I want you to go like this for now. And we'll see how that works out. Okay, so our excavator's ready. It has pulled out of the garage here, just a la Command & Conquer, as mentioned previously, and the door is closed. So now we need to come over here to the mine control tower and assign the excavator here and assign at least one truck here as well. And it's going to come over and it's going to start scooping up the ground. And whatever it finds that can skin away, it'll skin away. If it's dirt or rock, it'll dump it, or the truck will dump it. And if it's coal, the truck will pick it up and cart it off over to here, where it can be used in place of the coal coming out of this. And those are actually full, so maybe I should stop import. We don't want trucks to deliver cargo here, so we're going to turn off and off, so they won't deliver wood here. It's just going to let the coal get used and spent. And you are full of dirt. Good. And then there's some rocks. So now it's got to go dump the dirt. Or maybe that's coal. I don't know. Does it tell me? Oh, it is coal. It's got to go dump the dirt here where we designated the dumping. Like that. And then it can actually take the coal from the excavator somewhat magically. And then it'll cart that off to wherever it needs to go once it has a full load. Or close to a full load at least. I think it'll be a little bit less than a full load. It's at 18 right now. Will it take another bit? Because the loader does 6. The excavator does 6. And there it goes. But it doesn't have a destination, so it's waiting. Once we start using some of this iron, it'll start processing that. So we just finished trading dock. Let's open up the next thing, which is power and maintenance. We'll do that research. And then we can take a look at the trading dock research. Let's see. I think some of these icons are a little bit different too. They might have a little bit more color in them, which is nice. Oh, the smokestacks are different too. I forgot about that. The smokestacks now only have, let's do this one instead, only have one input. So they're a little more logical now. Instead of having the 2 inputs and being a little bit like 3 tiles long, now they're just a single tile in size with the single input. So that's nice too. Let's see, transports, unit storage. Unit storage came with this, and I actually want to build one of these. I want to build one right here. This holds 180 of a solid product, and you set a filter on it in order to store products here. And I want to store the iron here, so that you can keep this kind of going and keep burning through some of that coal. And then we have trading dock, and that needs to be built out over here on or by the water somehow. But it needs to be done so that it's away from the shipyard there. So we'll do it maybe over here someplace. You can see obviously what it needs, where it needs to be built. If you go too close, then it complains. So we'll go right here. That'll be fine. And then they'll come and build that too. And that's going to take a bunch of wood to build. So those trucks and that tree harvester are going to have a little bit of work cut out for them. Which is good because right now they're kind of bored with just delivering wood here to making the assembly, or making the construction parts at the assembly. That's what I meant to say. So you all delivered the construction parts or the wood that was in storage probably, or no, these are the trucks. These are the tree harvester trucks. All right, so we can probably cut one of those out once this is done. But you see they delivered 40 because they each carry 20. And then you're carrying... Oh, you're carrying iron scrap over here because we're now offloading that iron into this box. So they're able to make more here now. Excellent. Oh boy. That mess is getting messy already. Nice little trash dump. And it's actually like a little bit of detail there as it looks like a trash dump. It's kind of interesting. Kind of a neat effort. All right, and they have a little bit more to go. So we're going to wait a little bit longer for that to happen. If we start having issues with the trucks, we can always make more, but making trucks is going to spend those 3 items, and we can't make any of those yet. So, and the same thing with excavators and tree harvesters. So, well, we can make the iron plates for these two, but we can't make any of those things yet. So we need to be careful how much we spend, especially the diesel, because you can see not only do they cost diesel to make, but they also cost diesel to run. So gotta keep an eye on that and make sure that you're not overspending your starting resources. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck. I mean, we'll see here when this trading dock opens that you're not entirely stuck, but you're kind of stuck. And these graphs over here are pretty nice too. This is the new update to the statistics, and it actually shows you a trend here of what you're using, what you're replenishing, looks like, well, our wood was trending down, but looks like it's leveled off a bit. Coal is trending down, but we're actually stockpiled backed up here a bit. The reason it's trending down is because of these being emptied out, I assume, because we're no longer accepting wood here. So once they empty these out, then we're gonna actually shut those off. Because I don't see the point in burning or converting trees into coal when you can mine it instead. We have a lot of coal that we can mine. And there's more somewhere else on the map. I think right here. Yeah, that's all coal right there. So that would be another good place to go. Power and maintenance has finished. Let's take a look at how that works. And also let's pick something else. Let's start on concrete production, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. So power and maintenance gives us, let's see, where are those at? Well, here's the diesel generator, which generates power. Maintenance must be in, here it is, maintenance depot. Let's build one of those. This takes in electronics and something else to make maintenance. So we're going to have to actually start harvesting electronics here. And we'll have to start making whatever that other thing is. I'm going to put this up. Let's see. Let's put it up over here. It doesn't matter. I don't know what matters, actually, because, yeah. We'll do that. And this is going to also require electricity to run, I think. Yeah, 25 kilowatts. So that means we need to also make diesel. Now, you can see there's an input pipe here, but it is not an output pipe. It is an input pipe, and this is for finding a place to store the diesel once you're making it yourself. So I'm going to put the diesel generator over here in this area, just because if we're going to make diesel, maybe I'll put it over here. If we're going to make diesel, once we can start mining the oil, which is over here someplace, then we're going to want to deliver it here for either the generator or the storage. So let's do that. They'll come and make that, and then we'll have some power. And they do not need a pipe to connect them up at this point. The trucks can deliver the diesel to here. And here comes one to do so. It even has a little tank truck skin. Let's see here. Oh, that's done. Oh, okay. Let's turn off... Where are you at? Here? Let's turn off one of these trucks. It'll go and deliver its extra wood to here, which is fine. These bits are, for the maintenance, are... What are they called? Mechanical parts. Oh, those are the mechanical parts that were made here also. Yeah, we can make those any that we want, but we should spend the ones we have in storage, I guess. The trading dock, let's go ahead and click on that. This allows you to trade with neighboring villages. There are, and I think this map is the same layout, although this icon's a different color from the map we had. I did bring in the same seed, so hopefully it is the same layout. I didn't actually verify that. We need to explore with our damaged ship that's here in the dock in order to reveal those other places, and this needs to be repaired after the shipyard is repaired, and then it needs to be fueled. So, trading with a village, we can only trade with this one that's yellow. We're this other yellow one here, but we can only trade with this one right now. And they want a few things, and they'll trade those for a few other things. If we give them 20 wood, they'll give us 20 concrete slabs. So if we don't get concrete built fast enough, then that's an option. We'll give them 20 construction parts. They'll give us 20 copper. So if we don't get copper mining up and running soon enough, that's fine. 20 wood will also get us 24 iron scrap. So that saves us from having to have iron mining set up too fast. Construction parts gives us rubber. Construction parts will give us potatoes, and diesel will get us coal. Interestingly, you can't trade for diesel. To get diesel, you can only trade to give away diesel. So we're definitely not going to need this one. Who knows? We could need the food, depending on how the food growing goes. We'll do iron mining next, so that'll probably be fine. Copper, we'll have to see. We haven't unlocked it yet. Rubber, we don't know how to make that yet. And construction slabs, we haven't set up concrete. We haven't finished concrete production yet. So I think what we're going to do, though, is we're actually going to end this episode here. As I mentioned, I think in the last one, we're going to keep these a bit shorter, right around 30 minutes if I can. The last one might have been a little bit longer, closer to 40. But we're going to keep these a little bit closer to 30 minutes, just because that way I might be able to get them out at 3 to 4 a week instead of just 2, as I would otherwise be able to do. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how long that goes. But as this is taking over the Terraformer slot, that would be the 2 the Terraformers was there for, and then this here would then any extra I can get in. So we're gonna end this here. We might need to do another farm field depending on how this works out here with fertility and stuff. We might just need another field just to keep crops up. And we're also next time going to set up iron mining using the same kind of concept as the coal. And then once this is depleted of its scrap, which is a little more than half gone, then we're going to want to have another setup for iron smelting using iron ore and coal to make molten iron, slag, and exhaust. But we'll do that next time. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you then. Bye for now.